Hey guys, welcome back. Hey, I got another episode for you. And I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving and had a great holiday weekend. Now we're gonna get back into the swing of things. I went a little nuts with the sale that Microsoft had on their marketplace. Bought some airplanes, bought some scenery, and this is scenery that I had actually picked up about a week before. But what we're going to be looking at today is the PNG Bush Pack #1 from ORBX. And what this does is add 3 different airfields to Papua New Guinea, and they are quite a challenge. They're fun little airstrips to fly into. So let's just get in, take a look, and see what we can see. The first little airfield that's going to be in this package is called Yellowmitt, and it is Adam Young Edward AYYE, and this is going to be 2,129 feet of grass runway. So going into this, you're going to find that each one of these airstrips can be really difficult to get into, and where they may only be like 8 to 14 minutes apart. If you have to navigate around these mountains to get to each one, your flights are going to take you anywhere from 15 minutes to 20 minutes, if not longer, depending on the weather. Now, my overall impression of the scenery is it's pretty fair. I think it looks good. I was expecting a little more in the eye candy department, being that it was ORBX, but you know what? This only costs $12, or it's right around $12 for the one set, and it is actually pretty good. And there are people around. There's a guy here that watches his chickens. It kind of captures the life of what it looks like to live in Papua New Guinea. But on the other side of it, where the challenge in this is trying to land in these places. This particular little airstrip isn't that hard. This one I would probably say is the easiest out of the 3. And this being the largest out of the 3. With the river's been reworked. And there's some rock work along the river bank. Overall, really, it is a pretty nice little add-on. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go ahead and I'm going to just fly into each one of these and record that portion of my flight rather than take off and landing, just so you can see what it looks like from the air and what it is to come in and land. Alright, so here we are in the air. We're going to get set up. Airport is like right behind us. So what I'm talking about here is making these little airstrips difficult is that you have this really high terrain. And if the weather's bad, that can be a bit of a problem. getting in and out of these valleys. And like I was saying, these airports are only like between 8 and 14 minutes apart, but to fly through these valleys, it takes anywhere from 20 minutes to 40 minutes, if not longer, to navigate your way out if you have to. I've done a couple flights where the weather was just so bad I ended up having to divert to a different flight, a different airstrip, because I couldn't see the one that I needed to land at, which that would be realistic for this, for anywhere really. Alright, so we're going to go back up to the right on that river there. It's on my map. That is going to be Yellowmitt. We're just going to kind of line ourselves up so we can drop into that runway. I started watching a guy on YouTube by the name of Missionary Pilot. And man, I really enjoy his videos because I love watching him fly into some of these places. It's pretty amazing. Alright, well there we go. That is the first airport. That is Yellowmitt. So let's go ahead and jump on to the next one and I'll show you around in that one. Alright, the next airfield that is included in a PNG Bush pack is Yaan, and this is going to be Adam Young William, and this is 1,500 feet of grass. Check that out. Isn't that crazy? And this one, out of the three, is probably my favorite. Mainly because of location. This one, we are actually sitting at about 4,700 feet. The one thing I really would have liked to have seen, though, is a little more life in and around the airfields. I mean, there's a few people here and there, but it's pretty sparse. The wildlife is kind of sparse. I mean, here's that guy with his chickens again. I think your twin brother lives in Yellowmitt. But that's alright. That's alright. It's not about all the scenery. It's about the runways, right? But really decent looking scenery. It captures the village as well. How'd you like to be these guys? Quite a view they have, huh? Alright, well, let's go ahead and take off. I'll show you the... That's what we're going to be doing. So, we're going to kick in the real world weather and give it a little bit of a challenge. Now, I think... Yeah, we're going to add the real world weather. And it's still in the Kodiak. Kodiak, for me, it's the best for this region. You can get it down to a slow enough speed, you can just set it into these runways. There's that guy, there's that person there watching their chickens again. Pretty nice scenery package. Overall, the only thing that I didn't like was that I had to... I didn't have any other ORBX stuff installed on my flight simulator. And I had to download the ORBX manager and install... You have to do everything through the manager, buy the product, then let the ORBX manager install everything for you, which really is pretty easy, but for stuff like this, I like just dropping it in my community folder and calling it good. So there's some wildlife. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get in the Kodiak and go for a short little flight. Alright, so if you were flying into this, more than likely you'd come up through that valley and take a right there, and that's your lead right into Yaan. So it is a tough approach, and I actually did one where I came up through the valley, and it is difficult because you've got so much high terrain, and you got to get lined up just right and make sure you're at the right altitude. Alright, we should be coming up on it here. Actually a little low. We need to drop into it and not fly into it. If that makes sense. We'll go ahead and try it though. I'm almost... Oh wow, I'm at 58. A little rough, but doable. Alright, well that's going to do it for Yaan. Let's go ahead and shoot on over to Denat. Alright, and for the third airfield, it is going to be Denat. And this is going to be Adam Young, David Nora, and this is 1,385 feet of grass. And we are over 5,000 feet at this particular location. So let's go ahead and take a look at the village, and then we'll try there. There's the approach. This approach is pretty much, it's wide open. So if you have good weather, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And you've got quite a bit of room for, so I mean, there's a lot of room for a mistake there on your approach. Again, there's a guy watching his animals. That looks like a chicken. That looks like a goose. But I think it's supposed to be a chicken. Ah, that's a chicken. Again, the scenery is nicely done. The villages are just, they're beautifully rendered. But what they need is some more life. I mean, anytime I've seen you know, like some of the missionary pilot, he lands at these, there's kids and people standing watching the planes land, and it just needs a little more life brought to it. Alright, well, let's jump into the Kodiak and we'll come back and land. Alright, we're going to go ahead and take off from this one. See what I mean by the elevation here? I mean, you have to come up through these valleys, and if the weather's bad, I mean, you have to follow the low elevation, because there's going to be no climbing over those mountains unless you're at a decent altitude. We're already at 5,600 feet. And what did I say that airport was right at just over 5,000 feet? So a lot of these places you got to drop down into, but it makes for an interesting challenge. It's a lot of fun, and it's a totally different place to fly in Flight Simulator. I have really gotten to like the Kodiak. Mainly, what's going on? I have really gotten to like the Kodiak. flying in this region. It's just, this thing is like a serious workhorse, and it is fun to fly.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
I won't sink. Alright, so we're going to get lined up with, we're going to come back around into Denat and see what I mean. See what I mean by the elevation. I'm dropping and I'm not paying any attention.
500.
Okay. So we're going, we need to maintain some altitude. We need to maintain at least, the airport's at 5,000, just over 5,000 feet. This little airfield, it's easy to get turned around because there's so much to take in here. So we're going to be right in that valley up here, so we're going to make a left. We're at 5,500 feet. Let's go ahead, lose some throttle. Give it a notch of flaps. Another notch of flaps. Alright. It just kind of sneaks up on you.
500. Stall. 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 Stall.
Oh, that was a hard one, but it'll do. But that is Denat. Alright, well, I think that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. And please like and subscribe. If you're enjoying these videos and you like to watch, please do like and subscribe. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching. Overall, my opinion of this product, it is worth $12. The $12 it costs to buy it. Yes, I'd like to see a little bit more added to it. I'd like to see some life added to these villages. So, but overall, price-wise, I'm not going to complain too much. It's added quite a bit of enjoyment for me to this region of the world, and I look forward to the next one. So, that's going to do it. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for watching.